Today we are going to be making kefir. Kefir is like a drinkable yogurt, dates back like 3,600 years or so. I started making it, I've been making it off and on for about 10 years, and since we had kids, I've been making it regularly because I just wanted to, well, I had my own issues, GI issues, from a long time ago when I got food poisoning or gastroenteritis. It never really cleared up. And I tried so many different things, but this is the one thing that really helped to kind of make me feel better, to clear up those issues, and to maintain a really healthy gut microbiome. It's one of the most highly probiotic foods that you can find. It's different from yogurt in that yogurt has good bacterial flora that passes through your system, whereas kefir can actually colonize in your GI tract. There's tons of fermented foods. We're not going to include alcohol, but like kimchi and, well, you name it. Every culture has their own. This one is sort of comes from the Middle East. I think I forget the word, but it derives from a Turkish word that means good feeling, which is, every time you drink a cup of it, you feel really nice. It feels very cool. It relaxes your system, and you just feel really nice. Aside from that, even if there weren't any health benefits, I just love the way it tastes, and I love the process of making it, and I love doing something really good for my family. And the kids like it. We kind of hide it in our smoothies. It's one of the, if you ever caught Susanna making smoothies in the videos she did, you'll see that she pours a big healthy dose of it in every one of the smoothies we make for our family. So anyway, I'm going to go through the process, and we'll do it step by step. It's a 24-hour process, so we'll come back when it's finished. Inside of here are the kefir grains. They kind of look a little bit like rice pudding or tapioca. The grains can be really old. They can have different, come from different places, different cultures. Some of them are really old, like sourdough starter, like can be hundreds of years old and passed along from one family to the next or through generations. So my grains I got from my father, who kind of got me started in this, and he got his from somebody in Australia. And they're all different. They all produce different tasting kefirs. I'm going to strain these. These have been stored in this milk, just normal milk. You don't want it, you just want to get pasteurized. I like organic milk, whole milk, as long as it's not ultra pasteurized. What happens is you put these grains in here for storage in cold, cold and dark place with a tightly sealed lid, and you can store them for 3 to 4 weeks, and then you want to give them fresh milk. So I'm going to strain them now, and then from the grains that we take from here, we're going to make a fresh batch of kefir. So one of the things you'll notice is that I'm using a plastic strainer and a plastic spoon. I'm not a really big fan of plastic. We don't have any plastic utensils in our house, really. But kefir grains don't really love metal. They also don't like detergent or harsh detergent, so I tend to wash all of the glass that I use with very little bit of like a natural soap, or just not at all, just hot water. And I tend to always use plastic. It doesn't really leach into your milk or anything like that. It's just, being used just for the process of straining and for preparing. This is essentially what it looks like. This is about enough to make 5 half-gallon batches. And for a single batch, which is a half-gallon, about this size right here, 64 ounces, you're using like 20 cc's, which is a little bit more than a tablespoon. Now that you've strained it, this is essentially milk that's spent. I mean, the kefir grains drank all the lactose, and we're just going to throw this away. So now I'm ready. I've strained my kefir, and I've thrown away the milk that was basically feeding it, and I'm going to take 20 cc's, which is like tablespoon and a half. I'm going to put it into a fresh jar. Then I'm going to take half a gallon of milk. I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to leave some room at the top because it's going to expand as it ferments. So I don't want to put the entire half gallon in there. Then I'm going to seal it, and I'm going to put it somewhere where it's around room temperature, 72 degrees, relatively warm, which will help to accelerate the fermentation process. And I'm going to open up the lid so that it gets air. In my experience, the more air it gets, the better it is. You can use any kind of lid. You can use the metal ones that come with the mason jars. It doesn't come in contact with the milk, so it's not a really big deal. Or you can use plastic lids, or these really handy County Line kitchen handled handles or handle lids. And so now we're going to store this away, and then we're going to deal with the leftover grains. So now with the leftover grains, and you will have leftover grains because every time you make a batch, the kefir grains grow slightly. So if you start with just enough to make 1/2 gallon, like in a year you'll probably have enough. Well, it really depends on the grains. Some grow slower or faster than others, but you could have enough to make, say, 6 batches. So there's always the issue of storage. So essentially what you want to do is you want to take these grains, you want to put them back into a jar of their own. And these ones are not going to be fermented like the other ones. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to put them, we're going to feed them cold milk so they're able to eat and live, but we're going to slow down the fermentation process by sealing them very tightly and sticking them in the refrigerator. Now these can stay refrigerated for, really depends, 3-4 weeks. You'll start to notice that they'll separate the whey from the actual milk. So you'll see like a clear liquid at the bottom. So I want to put the date on here just so I know when I stored them and check back on them. We make kefir pretty regularly in our house, so it's very rare that these go a really long time. But if you're just starting out, you're making one batch at a time, you're not consuming it very quickly, you'll just want to keep an eye on the date and just make sure that you're making kefir regularly. Here's our finished kefir. And what we're going to do now, because it still has the grains in it, and we want to take them out so they doesn't keep fermenting. So we're going to strain them, take those grains, put them back with our other grains. They're friends that have been in cold, deep storage. And then we're going to take this kefir and just stick it in the fridge, and it stays good for a couple of weeks. So here we go. Let's see what we got. I used to buy kefir from the store, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a little tart. Depending on the brands you buy, some of them use thickeners, and just over time I learned that you could make it from my dad and from other people, and it's just a lot more rewarding. It's a lot less expensive, and you have a whole lot of control over the end product. And I just think it tastes way better than the ones you buy at the store. It's a lot less wasteful. So essentially, I'm not even a milk drinker, but fermented milk products are very different, like yogurt, Greek yogurt, and especially something like kefir. The taste is really wholesome, and it's just gratifying to make it on your own. So now we've finished our kefir fermentation, and we strained the kefir, and we're going to remove the grains. You'll notice that the grains, you might notice, the grains have enlarged in size. They've grown. So we're going to take these grains and we're going to put them in storage with their friends, tightly seal them in the fridge, and like I said, they can stay in there for 3 to 4 weeks. And then we are going to take the rest of this kefir and we are going to put it in the fridge and start drinking it. And before I put it away, we're going to call in Cousin Steven, our trusted taste tester, to tell us what he thinks. Kampai.
Vale. I love this stuff. It's actually pretty good.
That sounded sincere.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I hope this is helpful and that it's you find it easy enough. It's a relatively complicated process, lots of steps, but after you've done it a couple of times, it's super easy and it's really rewarding. I don't have a whole lot of opportunities to garden and farm, but this is one thing that I can do for myself and for my family that feels really rewarding. And like I said, I know that it's super healthy and it's doing something really fantastic for me and for the bellies of my family and my little ones. And I hope that you can try it out and that it does the same for you.